Welcome, folks. As promised, I have got I've prepared for you today a little mini crash course on how to uncover your flagship content, aka your lead magnet. Now, this is something I've been working through with my private coaching clients, and I want to give you a little snapshot into the process that is involved. If you're watching this live, please type live. If you're watching the replay, type replay into the comments. I'd love to know who is with me. Okay, so let's dive into this. It's a crash course to uncover your flagship content, aka your lead magnet. So folks, back in the day, this is Tobes and myself in our first proper office in Ashgrove in Brisbane, and we were very green, we were brand new to business. And so what happened was that a lot of people were mentioning to us that there was this one-page strategic plan, and we heard it from colleagues, from mentors, we heard it all over the place. And what happened is that all the roads led to the one-page strategic plan, which, for those of you who are familiar with it, was created by Vern Harnish. Now, once we discovered this free downloadable one-page strategic plan, it led us to his books, it led us to conferences, and we learnt a lot from Vern. And so what that got us, what happened then is it got us thinking, what was it about that whole process that drew us in to his ecosystem and into his orbit? Because whatever it was, it worked really well on us. We found it incredibly valuable. We enjoyed every step of the way. And so we then thought, what can we do to emulate this? Howdy. So what we did is we thought, well, how can we create something similar that maybe can attract people into our orbit? So what we did is we, at the time, were reading dozens of books, interviewing people, and going to conferences to learn all that we could about digital marketing. Now, there was one book that really stood out for us, and that was David Meerman Scott's The New Rules of Marketing and PR. So we decided to create a planning template that we wanted to use with our clients and potentially with prospects as well, to help them understand how this whole web universe thing worked. And so we put together this sketch, which, to be honest, the original version was hand drawn and really messy, and our lovely graphic designer at the time turned it into something presentable. And because we were so heavily influenced by particularly David's writing and interviews and podcasts and everything else that he generously shares with the world, we then sent it to him to say, look, mate, you've influenced us a lot. Based on a lot of your thought leadership, we've now put together this little draft of a template. Wanted to run it past you, keep you in the loop, and let you see what you think. Long story short, David had a few changes and suggestions for us, which we happily took on board. But he then said, I would love to collaborate on this with you. In fact, if you make some of these changes, then he'll include it in his book, the next edition of The New Rules of Marketing and PR. So anyway, that was a really exciting moment for us, and the template was included in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th edition, I should say, of the book. And so what that meant was that people knew us for this web strategy planning template. People were sharing it, people were discovering our work, and David's, of course. Probably more so David than us, but he's a lot further up the food chain than us. But anyway, what it did is it served to attract people into our world, and it was super, super exciting. So flagship content can and should be a very, very powerful marketing tool for you when you follow the following steps. So what is it that makes flagship content really good? Okay, so let's really dive into this. Let me get my pen and pencil. So first thing, flagship content should be very valuable. Niraj, how you doing? I'm just drop your comment on the screen there. Nice to see you, mate. So firstly, it should be valuable. First thing, it should be client quality. So it shouldn't just a lead magnet, or lead magnet is a sort of marketing jargon for it. I much prefer the word flagship content for these reasons, that it should be quite client quality. You shouldn't just create stuff that is, that you're putting out. It should be good enough that you would use it with your clients. The second thing is, it should be so valuable that people would pay you for it. They would pay you. They would pay for it if you asked. So it should be so valuable that people would pay you for it if you asked. However, you give it away as a gift to people, as a contribution to the marketplace, as a valuable, generous thing to do to help people. So it should be so valuable people would pay for it. And the real sort of rule of thumb is that it should hurt a little bit to give away. If it hurts you a little bit to give away, chances are it's actually going to be valuable enough to be client quality and so valuable that people would pay for it. So it should hurt a little. So that is what we want to aim for from the value side of things. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, so that's the value. We are talking here about flagship content. Now, what's next? Okay, so the second feature of flagship content is that it should be concise and actionable. So the things to keep in mind here. Firstly, it should help people get from A to B. If you can help them get from A to B, then you're going to be the logical choice to help for them to choose who to get them to help go from B to C to D and all the way through the journey. So we want it to be designed to take them from A to B. So it's not just a brain dump of everything that you know, the complete A to Z system. It is A to B. Second thing to keep in mind, we want to think more 1 to 2 pages. 1 to 2 pages rather than a massive document or a massive resource. So think 1 to 2 pages. And finally, it needs to be action focused, not passive. So by that I mean a tool, something they can use and be in the active frame of mind, not passive. This is for an ideal piece of flagship content. So it should be action orientated, and that means not being a passive document. By passive I mean things like sitting down to read an ebook. That's very passive. I'm talking tools, interactive spreadsheets, all of that type of stuff. So that's the second thing to keep in mind. It needs to be concise and actionable. And thirdly, it's ideally something that you are known for. Thanks for the thumbs up, folks, in the comments. So final thing, something that you're known for. So this should be something that people would read out in your bio. So you have created the web strategy planning template, something that you're known for. It should be shareable. So that way, when people get it, they love it, they share it with their friends. So it's something that you're known for. They share it with their friends, and of course they are then introduced to you and your business. And it should be something that is showing up on SEO, on search, on Google. So when people are looking for these types of things, you're known for it. Like, people are searching, they find you through search, and again, it is something that you're known for, and people discover you through your flagship content. So if you can keep all of those things in mind, They are the 9 things that you want your flagship content to tick the box for. Valuable, concise, and something that you are known for. So the benefit then, once you do that, the benefit is huge, because then what you've actually got, that flagship content can be broken down into like micro content. You can do videos on a specific part of that. You can do articles. You can do social media posts, social media graphics. You can do all sorts of content off that one piece of flagship content. So that's one benefit. The other benefit is that people find you. It's your way of being out there on the internet 24/7, and it's a pathway into your business ecosystem. So people find you. And finally, it's a way to add value so that people want to hire you or want to work with you. Want to work with you. So they are some tremendous benefits of getting your flagship content right. It's easy just to create a cheap and nasty lead magnet, but flagship content is valuable. You're known for it. It's concise, and it's the first stepping stone for people to do business with you. So that's a snapshot of flagship content. Here's some examples. This is Sean, who's a fitness consultant. He shares a training template, a training calendar, 30 days to 10K. Here are some examples of Blue Wire's ones. There are spreadsheets that work really well as flagship content, and also PDF templates which people can download and fill in. So that is a little snapshot. If you are interested in sort of diving deeper into this, right now I'm looking for 5 consultants who are making about 10 grand a month or more, who want to bring on 2 new clients in the next 90 days. If you'd like to have a talk about that and how uncovering your flagship content will help that process dramatically, either send me a message on WhatsApp. So this QR code on the screen, when you take your phone and open up your camera, it should, once you scan it, it should open up a message that will come straight to me. Type the word flagship plus your name so I know who's messaging me, and I will tell you more about it. If you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or my website or anywhere else, there will be information down below. Thank you for checking this out, and I very much look forward to sharing more of these little crash courses with you. My name's Adam Franklin. Take care.